Let's talk about accountability, not the internet version, not the clapback version. Real accountability, quiet, unsexy, often inconvenient. I say this to say that when a woman says, my body, my choice, and a man responds with, my money, my choice, that is not equality. That is invasion. Because by the time she's choosing what to do with her body, you have already made yours. You already deposited your DNA like it was a free trial. No subscription, no responsibility, just vibes. But here's the truth. The real choice was before the bedroom, before the friction, before the climax. That's when your power showed up. And that's when most men hand it over for 5 minutes of validation. Let me make it plain. You don't get to scream equality when it's time to split the bill, but whisper my bad when it's time to raise a child. Men say, my money, my choice, as if you are a reluctant investor in a hostile merger. But you were not reluctant when you went raw. You were not hesitant when you skipped the condom aisle. Here is the part nobody wants to say. A man who understands the weight of fatherhood does not roll the dice on biology. He protects his future before he is called daddy by a judge in family court. He gets the vasectomy. He uses condom and pulls out. He checks birth control receipts like he checks his credit score. He does not wait until a woman says she's pregnant to suddenly rediscover boundaries. I am not saying women are always right. I am saying men are often conveniently quiet when the mirror is pointed at them. You hear my body, my choice, and you take it personal. But did you hear your own silence when it was your chance to choose? You already made a decision with your body, with your lack of planning, with your ego. Now let's talk about why so many men fumble the simplest part of accountability, which is ownership. It's not about money, it's about honor. Responsibility is a masculine trait, not responsibility after the fact, but responsibility in advance. What's more alpha than being in control of your own seed? You don't plant corn and act surprised when it grows. You don't pour gasoline and blame the match. And you don't walk into a casino, put everything on red, then blame the roulette wheel when it lands on black. And yet, here we are, grown men with baby mamas they hate, who now control your income because you gave away your leverage in the sheets. She did not ruin your life. You gambled it with no strategy, no plan, and now she's a witch because you were too lazy to wrap it up. No, sir, I beg to differ. Don't be that guy, my G. Don't be the guy that cries about court dates and child support, but flexes about smashing raw on the group chat. Don't call it a trap when you walked into it with your eyes open and a grin on your face. Because the man who gets played after he ignored all the red flag, he's not a victim. He's just a repeat offender against his own future. Let's get even more real. You cannot protect a legacy you keep leaking. You want generational wealth, but your generational decisions are sloppy. Your net worth is being drained in a monthly installment because you thought condoms were optional and vasectomy were for the weak. Let me tell you what's weak. Blaming everyone else but yourself. Weak is not being broke. Weak is refusing to grow. It's time to take back control, not from women, but from your own impulses. Because a man in control of his body, his mind, and his money does not fear unwanted pregnancy. It prevents them intentionally and relentlessly. You know what's more attractive than being a player? Being a planner. The man who moves with vision doesn't leave children behind like receipts. He creates on purpose or not at all. So don't let your ego write checks your character can't cash. And for the men in the back still whispering, but she should have. Like, gee, stop it. She had a choice, so did you. She made hers, so did you. And if you're still playing victim to a decision you made with full consent, I've got news for you, my G. You are not the victim, you are the variable. And if that stings, that's good. That's called growth. Because every time you act surprised by the outcome of unprotected sex, you are making a confession that you don't understand the game you are playing. This is not about gender roles. It's about grown-up decisions. This is not anti-man. This is pro-accountability. And if you think masculinity means doing whatever you want without consequences, you're not masculine. You're a teenager with chest hair, full beard, and some muscles. I say this to say that. Own your choices before your choices own you. Because if you're not serious about fatherhood, be serious about protection. If you don't want to be a dad, don't just trust fate or fantasy. Trust action. Be intentional. Be informed. Be disciplined. Because accountability is not something you post about. It's something you live every day. And to the men who already know this, who have taken control of their bodies, their mind, their future, I salute you. Not for being perfect, but for being prepared. That's what real masculinity looks like. Not noise, not playing, but choice made in silence and honored in full. I say this to say that masculinity isn't a brand. It's not just a podcast. It's not a hashtag. It's who you are when no one is watching. Be that man every time.